How's it going? Welcome to my next video. This has been a long-awaited video for me. I could have revealed some of these secrets of the Matrix a while ago, but I was just trying to make sure I can get a better understanding of like how I was going to explain it and what I wanted to say and not say. I haven't written down any script. I'm gonna just tell you guys the secrets of the Wachowski brothers, The Matrix. Okay, there's a lot going on with it. Actually, it's almost a lot of what I've seen about people understanding of the Matrix, they're just kind of taking it at face value. It's like, oh, that's what they see, that's what they believe, and then they jump to that conclusion. So they don't even really see the hidden symbology and mythology. Well, not all of it, because granted, everyone does notice a lot of the deep secrets, that there's all sorts of deep secrets to it. But from what I've noticed, they didn't really break down the main principle and aspect of the Matrix. Um, so, the Matrix, there's a lot of things going on with the Matrix, so I'm going to kind of just jump from one point to the next to another. It's going to be pretty random, and it's just going to kind of be everything that I can think of at the moment, and, I could follow up on this type of movie, Revelation. And what's cool is not every single movie has super deep, secret, hidden meanings. So this one in particular is like one of the primary main movies you're going to run across that have ultra deep secrets hidden within it of the universe. Because this has hidden knowledge of the universe, which is why I've always been like drawn to it and fascinated by it. Because I've always kind of noticed, like, man, that was a lot more out of the ordinary than any other movie I've ever seen in my life. So when I first watched it, when I was a kid, I totally was understanding it at face value. And I was just like everyone else. That most people, when they think of the Matrix, when they first look at it, oh, it's all about just somebody being rewarded the ability to control the Matrix, and then everyone has this amazing fascination of, oh man, if I could be rewarded to rule over the Matrix, everyone just starts dreaming how amazing it would be to be the one. So that was how I first took it at face value, and I'm like, man, that would be, because, I was thinking how logical it would be, like, oh, just load information. It's like, I would always be thinking, oh, I would load this, I would load that. A kid, I was like fucking maybe 13, 15, who knows. And I was already pretty into computers, so I really understood the concept pretty well. And it wasn't until years down the road, like, till YouTube started blowing up, because this was before YouTube. And it wasn't until I started learning a bunch of hidden knowledge of the universe on YouTube, like deep secrets of the universe, because I would always go on YouTube literally every fucking day, like secrets of the universe, revelation of the universe, anything I can think of to like anything. I was always looking up stuff like brain hacks, all sorts of stuff like that. So it wasn't necessarily very religious, which I'm a little bit religious. I won't deny it. I'm some will say, but everybody's a little religious, because in my definition book, where someone has religion or takes on religion for the most part, like believes in a religion, it's just a belief between two or more people that not everybody understands or basically agrees with or believes. So everybody's a little bit religious, has a belief between two or more people that not everybody believes in or understands of. So yeah, I am a little bit religious in different angles, of which some people are not. Like when it comes to God, that's where I would classify myself as being religious in that category. Yeah, I'm a believer of God. That's what makes me religious, but there are all sorts of other things that make me religious because I have beliefs between two or more people that no one else, not everybody understands or believes also, and it's not just particularly limited to one category too. So a religion breaks off into many different religions and branches. Okay, which is nature. It's basically a part of. So basically, the Matrix also is almost like what I had just said. It's part of like I think I just said right before that. It's like a part of nature. Um, so it wasn't until I started like I think it's called Nob Coo, and like I I I watched this deep YouTube series, all sorts of shit. We're talking like hundreds of different videos, but one that I really liked was like the secrets of like the light universe or something, or Nob Coo, and then it really got into the deep secrets. I'll eventually make a video and show people these videos, because that I just thought, oh, that would be a great idea and a good idea to release on for some content. But let's stay on track. So what's going on with the Matrix? It wasn't until because I went through moments of like growing. So basically, I realized everything kind of grows. So your mind basically grows like a tree. So my mind just fucking one point or another just literally just started becoming like super knowledgeable and understand. And I would say I just kind of probably more specialize in philosophy and just random stuff, but I'm pretty good with overall everything. But that's just kind of what was always interesting to me. So stuff like theoretical stuff like what is the universe, like stuff like I think it's psychology, like when someone would ask the question like why is the grass green. So I was always interested in things like that for the most part. So I eventually started becoming more of an enlightened being, which was more aware and conscious and understanding my perspective of time and my perspective of consciousness were growing all together, which is what makes you really fucking ultra smart, is to have your high levels of perception of time and consciousness, because it's both of those that create the human psyche experience of reality. Reality, there is a reality, and because reality is like basically when, like a good way to put it, and this is another thing of what the Matrix kind of ties into, is they're trying to come at you with how it's a existence of reality. Okay, so a reality is basically something that is expected. So when somebody says, "Oh, that's reality," they're basically saying, "Well, that's what's expected." So cuz that's reality. Like that's just a response, and that's basically what it means. So reality is just what is expected. It's reality. It's what is expected. So that's what's most important of our discovery journey through the Matrix, as we discover that is one of the main secrets. Is what did I just say right before that? Oh my gosh. See, I have short-term memory loss, but I have all sorts of ideas. It's like never ending. Nearly. I mean, when I'm gonna go teaching somebody else, I could just because I know all sorts of random crazy shit, man. It's insanity. Because I took a weird line and approach on what I particularly ascribe to be important of my what I deem to be actually most important. So I will say most people, if I reveal like all of my source of knowledge, most of it is just coming out of moments of eureka through all of the understandings of everything overall. So it just kind of it's half and half. It's kind of just Oh, great. We got a
Hulu's got
fucking ad.
favorites.
Let
When
me. Oh, yeah, reality. So, what is expected? So, the main revelation of the Matrix is what is expected. Reality is what is expected. That's how I became so good at deciphering the secrets of the Matrix, is because when I was studying poker, I started studying poker for fucking a long time. Because I always, that was one of my hobbies though. So everyone has different hobbies. So for me, I was always like big on, okay, this is something I can make a profession out of, make money. I'm gonna dedicate more than the typical average study towards this. And through me learning every single thing I could about how to exploit poker for 10 years plus, it wasn't until my last 3 or 4 years. I know I hate to fucking but say that, because I mean, some people may conclude, oh man, is he fucking dumb? It's not that I was dumb. It's just that, when I have so many different things going on, I don't necessarily have full dedication and time to go into my techniques of reverse engineering. So there were times that I just had to take a small break, and there were times that I just wasn't very into it. So I just kind of always had it on the back burner, and then there was a point when I started like steamrolling, because I started really knowing what the fuck was going on to exploit, that I learned about expected value, and that's how I became like so connected to the Matrix, is because that's like the number one revelation of what the Matrix is all about, is reality, what is expected. So naturally I was able to kind of like start like noticing it, like, oh my gosh, I can notice, I'm noticing something, and it's like, what is it that I'm noticing? It's like I can see it, but I can't really put it together or make sense of it. And it wasn't until like, evolution and development of going through so much revelational breakthroughs that I finally kind of, I don't understand it like 100% completely, but enough to where it's like more than enough to, be satisfied, I guess you could say. So, one of the main revelations of the Matrix is of how it's basically, because the Matrix is being used as, for human consciousness itself to evolve us, to see where we stand, see what we know, see if we notice what it's actually trying to tell you, because we're the type of people where we have such a high level of understanding of perception of time and consciousness, to where that's what they're interested in knowing. It's like, okay, well, we need to see where everybody stands with their perception of time, their perception of consciousness, of what's happening or what is expected. So this whole time when everyone's been watching The Matrix, it was always for everybody, almost like the pyramids, because that's like it's a great wonder of the world that nobody really realized that was set up for everybody to use as like their tool or something to, take into consideration, like, hey, do you notice this is extraordinary? So there are all sorts of these things that were hidden throughout mankind, which is, you tie into the anti-Cathera mechanism of where people have knowledge of things that, are unbelievable, that don't make sense. It's like, how is this guy basically sitting there with the laptop before we even had laptops? Because that's basically the first computer. So it's in, I just say laptop to put it into a better perspective. It's just known as a computer. So they've been known how to understand what is going to happen, perception of time. They've had perception of time and consciousness for since that anti-Cathera mechanism and or before. See, that's also that where they're trying to notice. Does anybody notice that this is something that if one thing is one thing, then it has to be tied to other things are guaranteed. So that ties into the secret order. So this is like basically created by the secret order. Like the ones who did the whole Mayans, the pyramids. I mean, as far as like the Wachowski brothers, I'm not trying to say that they're like part of a secret order or anything, because I don't know how that all works. But all I know is whether or not, however they got the information to know all this sacred knowledge and put it out there in the way that they did, I I don't know. I don't know, because all I know is, you know what? I know that they got a lot of this information out of books, too. So that's why it's not like I'm saying that these people are directly correlated or linked to them. But who knows? Maybe they are. But the thing is, they basically... This is like a ninth wonder of the world or something, basically, if you want to call it that. Because it's something that is so extraordinarily beneficial in like something that mankind needs to take into understanding of. But it looks, see, like that's the thing about the pyramids that make them so mystical. You know, it doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look so extra out of the ordinary. But when you look at it, it's like all the deep secrets are inside of it. So it's like only if you're looking inside of it, you're gonna see all the secrets. Same with what I'm basically showing you, is walking you inside of it, showing you all the secrets of how it, because it's about teaching the human psyche of expected value, which it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Nobody really noticed how much danger Neo is in. The whole time Neo's been... I'm not going to go into all the revelation of the dangers of Neo being in, because that's not the type of knowledge that I want people to know about. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be making fucking mastermind criminals. It's like, shit, they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. But I can say that Neo has always been in more danger than he's ever even expected. Which is the whole point of the movie, is to reveal, like, well, you need to know what's expected. Because that's even what the Merovingian tells Neo right when he first comes to him. Like, dude, you're coming to me without a why? Without knowing what's expected? So it's basically teaching everybody, like, dude, you're in serious danger if you do not know what's expected. Okay, so... I'll tell you a couple other secrets of the Matrix, which would tie into the spoon scene. I think this is a really cool one, because I never really sat there thinking about it, because, I mean, I'm just not that type of person where I just kind of want to solve a mystery like that. But after getting so much knowledge of just being able to decipher things, I came to a point where I kind of, like, was able to make sense of what it was kind of correlating at and getting at. But I mean, it wasn't until I became, like, not too long ago that I realized what it means. So that is something I can teach everybody, okay? Okay, because it's basically a principle and a concept of the universe, of nature, of what's expected. So what happens is Neo walks in. Well, another thing you need to remember is right before Neo walks in, actually, I gotta tell you guys one small story right before he walks in. So right before Neo walks in the door, what happens is the door opens automatically before he even turns the handle. It opens for him. Or no, the lady opens the door and greets him. Okay, but I'll get into that after I tell you about something that happened right before they entered into the Oracle's building. So what happens is Neo and Morpheus walk into the apartment building, and there's a blind man sitting on a bench, okay, right in front of the elevator that Neo's and Morpheus go into, okay? And there's some sort of elephant on the side, I believe. Oh, no. That's just the story. There might have been, but I don't believe. I'm going to look it up real quick and see if it's potentially if I can get more. The blind man, the Matrix. On the bench. The blind man on the bench. So that's a huge. Okay, here's the picture of the blind man on the bench. Oh, and it says the blind man, a previous version of Morpheus. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a previous version of Morpheus, because they were explaining how deja vu is a glitch in the Matrix. But I'll tell you what I know aside from that. But what this is saying is when Morpheus is taking Neo to see the Oracle, Morpheus nods to a man who appears to be, that's what I was going to tell you, appears to be blind, and the man nods back. So if he's blind, how did he see Morpheus nod? The other theories I've encountered about this man suggest he is a guardian of the Oracle, like Seraph in the sequels. However, I could not help but notice visual similarities between the blind man and Morpheus. Yeah, they both got glasses, too. They are both black. They have similar constitution.
This moment feels different.
They even have similar glasses. And what appears to be a cane in the hand of the blind man looks like a katana, which is the weapon of choice of Morpheus in the sequel.
So make time for loved ones.
Having watched the sequels, I know that Neo is not the chosen one, but a chosen one, another iteration of the chosen one. The picture makes me think that the blind man is the previous iteration of Morpheus, and there are other indications of this. Can I get a bigger picture of this?
My dream is to help people understand how the universe operates.
So what I got out of when I watched the movie, that's where I noticed the whole...
My name is Matias Estefano, and my purpose...
What I'm about to tell you, so I'm just trying to think. I wonder if he is kind of... So... Something you need to know about this is basically what I just read to you. I mean, I knew that before reading that article because it's what I noticed. But anyway, if he's a blind man sitting right there, and then Morpheus nods at him, how does he see? So there's obviously something wrong. There's something not right. That's not right. That's not normal. So I think it was meant for Neo to notice, like, because the problem is Neo doesn't notice that he's in danger the whole time. He never noticed he's in danger because of his ignorance, and that's what ties into you need to know what's expected. Okay, so that's all I'll say about that. So what I was also gonna explain about the blind man, from what I know of, is the whole, I think they call it a wise folk tale of the 3 blind men and the elephant, or the 5 blind men and the elephant, how each blind man feels a part of the elephant and sees a different truth or reality to something. So it isn't necessarily that one person's reality is wrong. It's just that maybe that they're at one part of the reality as opposed to what the other person's part of the reality, which is what this also ties into, the same paradigm of, you know, the 5 blind men and an elephant. You know, basically, if you don't know the whole elephant, you're never gonna know the whole elephant. So that if you don't know the whole picture, so that's a problem. That's based on knowing what's expected. So that's Neo's problem, why he's in danger, is not knowing the whole picture. He's not seeing the whole picture. He's only feeling on one part of the elephant, which is man's biggest danger, is to not notice everything happening or know everything that's expected. Because it's like, dude, if you only know a piece of what the fuck is going on, you could be in some serious fucking trouble. Okay, so So now, right before they walk into the apartment, the oracle, or the lady opens the door. Okay, so that's also ties back to like a saying, all these, because metaphors, the whole revelation of like learning and knowing what's expected ties into understanding and noticing metaphors. So the whole time, the entire movie is always throwing out more metaphors, and for everybody to notice, because it's holographic poetry that basically reveals the nature and psyche of all nature and secrets of everything. So to leave the door open, you've heard that saying, oh, we'll leave the door open, or we'll leave the light on. Oh, it's a saying, basically, to leave the doors open. You've heard the saying, oh, the door's open, come on in. So that just ties into the whole saying. That's the type of thing that could be dangerous to walk into, is if the door is open. So that's something that you should be wondering, like, why is the door open? Is this some sort of setup? That's where mankind's biggest danger comes into, is they don't realize that it was so convenient that the door was left open, and they wonder why they got into so much trouble of whatever happened, because whoever set them up will leave whoever's going to set you up and deceive you will leave the door open. So that's what that metaphor ties into, is be very cautious if someone leaves the door open for you or opens the door for you. Because it's like, if there's no purpose, if there's no reason for them to open the door, why the hell is the door open? That's basically, oh, that should be a red flag. Like, oh man, do I really want to go in there? The door just fucking opened by itself? That's a little bit weird. Okay. And when he goes into the apartment, he talks to the blind kid. Or no, not the blind kid. The kid that's bending the spoon. And the kid reveals to him, he says, don't try to bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. And then Neo says, well, what is the truth? I believe that's what he says. And the kid says, there is no spoon. And that's when Neo takes the spoon and does it. And he's actually able to do the same thing. Now, this is going to be the final revelation for this episode of what I reveal out of the Matrix. Because I don't want to overwhelm everybody with too much. Because it's good for everybody to let it sink in slow, so it doesn't overwhelm anybody. Because bigger somebody is, the harder they fall. So I gotta build everybody up kind of slowly for your own safety, so you potentially aren't putting yourself into danger. Because like I said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So it's like, man, if I just keep revealing every fucking secret, man, there could be a lot of people that could be put into danger. Now, the revelation of the spoon is that we only expect that we know anything. Okay, so that's the revelation. We only expect. See, that's what this whole movie ties into, is the revelation of what's expected. Reality. Okay? So, the kid reveals to him, don't try to bend the spoon. That's not possible. Instead, try to realize the truth. The truth is, there is no spoon. So, the kid reveals to him that everybody only expects that it's a spoon, but in all reality of what is expected, we only attribute it to that symbol of it being a spoon to what we come to know of. So the bigger question is, are we sure that is all we have come to know of? So when the kid shows Neo has now come to know of the ability to do something that he never was able to do. So that is the ability to, change reality, change what is expected. Okay, change his mind, because that's also a matter of, changing your mind, being able to change your mind. Because all he had to do was change his mind in order to change reality. So that's the revelation of the spoon, is the changing of the mind is the changing of reality itself. So the whole revelation is, we only expect that it's a spoon and that it can only be used as a spoon if that's all that we know of. But it always comes down to what we have come to know of. So when Neo seen the kid do it, now he has come to know of whatever. See, it's a metaphor. It doesn't have to be a spoon. It's just an example. They're just showing an example. Okay, so the source of anything becoming as expected is a matter of decision, choice, which is the illusion, because it's the illusion between those who have control and those who do not have control.